fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for what probably looks like a whip and chat, but isn't, because Sunday is the days that I do a whip and chat. However, I am going to be working on something while we answer some questions. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working on this. Let me grab my list of questions and we'll get started. All right, I'm just going to jump in. Full disclosure, I had no idea what to do for a video today. As I was sitting on the couch and trying to brainstorm some ideas for not only today's video, but future videos, I decided that I hadn't seen anybody do any question tags in a while, so I thought I would start my own. I know that lots of you have your own YouTube channels, so feel free to steal the questions, do them on your own channel. If I remember, I'll try to put them in the description box so you can just copy and paste. No guarantees about my memory these days, but I'll try to remember to do that. Abby and I sat down and kind of brainstormed some questions that I would like the answers to, so I'm going to answer them, but feel free in the comments at any point to chime in and leave a response to any or all of these questions. So, question number 1, how long have you been diamond painting? For me, as I think for a lot of diamond painters, I discovered diamond painting during COVID when we were all on lockdown and nobody could go anywhere and we were all slowly stuck inside, losing our minds. Me, probably less than others because I am an introvert by nature. So actually, I really enjoyed a large part of lockdown, not having to have social obligations to go anywhere or do anything, to meet people online, which I find way easier and less intimidating than meeting people in person. I had hobbies, but not enough. I read book after book after book until I finally almost got sick of reading. Almost. I didn't, but it was close. Anyway, so I started painting in that year. I think it was like July of that year. I was like, I have to do something to occupy my hands and my brain or I'm going to be insane. So since July of 2020, so that makes me almost 6 years now. And I know there's people who've been doing it for a lot longer than me, but I do still really enjoy it. So I'm still at it 6 years later. Question number 2, what's the largest diamond painting you've ever done? I'm not exactly sure of the largest one I've ever done. I think my automatic assumption would have been to say one of my J walls, but I think actually if I figure out the square footage, my largest one was probably one of my spanglers. It was one of those really long, skinny ones. So it's probably a tie between Firefly Firelight and the Muka that I did from Diamond Painting Shop, which was Summer. One of those two, I'm pretty sure, is bigger than both of my J walls. Of the two J walls, the Melody in Pink was definitely bigger than Diana. I think square footage wise, even the Spangler still beats out both J walls. Number 3, what kind of light do you use to diamond paint? I know for me, it depends on where I'm diamond painting. Like right now, if I'm in here at my adjustable table, not filming, but just diamond painting while I watch the TV I have up on the wall now, then I'm using my studio lighting, which is nice and bright and works really well. If I'm diamond painting in the living room, I have an light that I got at, well, I think I got the one I have now at Staples. The one I had in the US I bought at Michael's, I think, when it was on sale. But I've also considered trying to get one of those arch lights that's really, it's more for like nail salons and stuff, but people that have them really like them, so I'm considering getting one of those. The best light, of course, is sunlight, but I rarely am someplace where I'm sitting right by a window and I'm getting enough light coming in the window that it makes for good diamond painting light. I've even seen some people diamond paint outside. I don't know if I would do that just because it's, well, in Kansas and here, it gets so windy sometimes. I'd be afraid of, even if I only have one section uncovered, that junk would be sticking to it while I was outside. And since we're right close to the water, it's rare that we have a day that isn't windy. Okay, so question number 4. Do you listen to anything while you diamond paint? And I debated over whether to put listen or watch or listen slash watch. And I decided I would just put listen because I think most of us aren't actually watching, we're just listening. I listen to lots of different things, sometimes music, but way more often I have the TV on and I'm listening to true crime shows like Forensic Files, Cold Case Files, Homicide Hunter, Paula's on. I watch a lot of British TV. There's a channel called Sky Crime that has Britain's Most Evil Killers, some other shows like that, Murder by the Sea. Yeah, all those kinds of shows I listen to. I try not to get the ones that are too documentary like because a lot of those will put words up on the screen, so I miss stuff because I'm not watching, I'm just listening. Or I will listen to a podcast. I have several true crime podcasts that I listen to. One called Case File that has my guy with the Australian accent. Anyway, I listen to that one a lot. Although they've gone to, whenever they release something, it's like another 3 weeks before it's available for non-subscribers. So I don't listen to that one as much anymore. I have Dark Poutine, which is another true crime but based in Canada. Occasionally they'll do some stories that are outside of Canada, but most of them are in Canada. And then I have a couple of, well, I guess three D&D podcasts that I listen to, and then I subscribe to that one and the next one on Patreon, so I get bonus content. The other one is Worlds Beyond Number, which is another D&D type campaign, although they just started a new one. And then Critical Role also has a podcast, but more often than not, I watch their videos instead of just listening to the podcast. Although I do often listen to the videos while I'm diamond painting, so I'm not necessarily watching theirs either, even though the video's on. Because hubby and I usually watch those together. So well, he doesn't watch either necessarily. He'll be on his iPad while we listen. So anyway, true crime, TV. I don't listen to usually to audiobooks. It's more podcasts. So that's what I listen to. Number 5, what's your favorite place to buy diamond paintings? This one is kind of tricky for me just because I don't think I have a favorite place. I like to try all kinds of different places to see what their quality is like compared to some of the bigger name companies. So I would say that I don't really have a preference per se. I would say probably that the place I've purchased from the most is Diamond Art Club. And that is simply because when I first started diamond painting, they were the first kind of big premium company that I discovered. Like, I had no idea anything about Diamond Art Club when I bought my first painting from them. I just was out searching, found their website, and went, oh, I'll buy this one and see if I like it. I had purchased a couple of small ones on Amazon, enough to know that I thought I wanted to try some bigger ones, and that was just the first place I stumbled onto. But there are tons of good companies out there, and I'm sure ones that I've never heard of. So if you leave the name of a company and you know what country it's located in, make sure you note that as well for me because sometimes where they're located can make a big difference. But I also like, in addition to Diamond Art Club, I like Dreamer Designs, although I haven't bought anything from them in a while. I like Bella Art. I like Diamond Painting Shop. I like Oraloa. So there's lots of good companies out there, and I'm sure ones that I haven't tried yet. What did I see the other day? Somebody was working on, it was a diamond painting temperature kit, but it was like a big shelf with bottles and books and stuff on it. If anybody knows what that is, it looked super interesting. I'm assuming it was like a bottle for every day of the year because it looked huge, but it looked like a ton of fun. And I've already done the one diamond temperature blanket one, but that one looked like it would be really fun. So if anybody knows where that was from, because I don't even remember where I saw it. I'm sure on social media somewhere, but who knows where. Okay, number 6. What time of day do you prefer to diamond paint? I mean, I'll diamond paint anytime, but my preference is to do it early in the morning when my eyes are fresh. And I realize that's a luxury that maybe a lot of people don't have. If you work a full-time job or something, getting up early in the morning may not be an option, or if you have a family, you're busy getting everybody off to school and stuff in the mornings. I'm lucky enough that I don't have to worry about that anymore, so I like to diamond paint first thing in the morning. But do I get out of bed early to do it? No. Usually I will shower, eat breakfast, and then I'll come in and diamond paint, especially if I'm trying to get something done, like trying to finish up a project or something, like I am with this one. I keep running out of drills, but that's another story. Okay, so number 7. What's your favorite storage option? And again, I ask this because there's new stuff coming out all the time. I don't think I'll ever abandon my Elizabeth Ward trays or my bottle cases. I think those are my top 2. If I had to go down to just one, it would be my Elizabeth Ward because I just like how customizable they are. But somebody also just commented with some new system that they found on Amazon that they're going to be getting, and I'm sorely tempted to get it and try it because it looks pretty nice. Depends on whether or not I can find it here on Amazon Canada. Everything that's available on Amazon.com is not available on Amazon.ca. So, but yeah, I think my Elizabeth Ward wins hands down. I would be sad if I didn't get to use those. I know a lot of people find them clunky, but I love them. And you got to do what works for you, right? I don't mind opening the containers over and over. Would it be faster if I painted from trays or something? Yeah, probably. But having tried that system multiple times now and not having success with it, I think I'm just comfortable doing what I'm doing. Okay, question number 8. Where's the craziest place you found a drill? I mean, I've found them all kinds of places. I found them in my bed, in my shoes. I found them stuck to me in the shower. I had one on my arm. Oh, yeah, probably my mouth is the craziest place where I've had one. I told you guys in a whip and chat, I think, that they were staticky, so I was blowing into the container. You put some moisture in there with your warm breath, and it will help with the static. And since it wasn't a ton of static and I didn't have my static guard handy, that's what I did. And I somehow ended up with drills in my mouth that I didn't notice until like several hours later. Just floating around in there having a good time, apparently. Number 9, what's your best tip for diamond painting? By that, I think what I was aiming at, well, I guess it could be either one. When I wrote the question, I was thinking more along the lines of, like, if you were giving someone who's never diamond painted before tips and you could only give them one, what's the tip that you would give them? And I think in that instance, my tip would be to ditch the brass tips and get steel tips. I mean, that goes along with a whole other thing, but if I could only give them one, I think that would be it. Just because, at least for me, those brass tips did not last very long and I would get so frustrated. I mean, I got frustrated over other things as well, but if that was the only tip I could give. Now, if it's going to be the best tip, as in, well, see, now I'm going to say what is the most helpful. I mean, the most clever tip I think I ever got was from Jess with the suggestion to use a seam ripper instead of an X-Acto knife to cut the cover sheet. And then the second best tip was when someone told me to turn it over so the part that has the little ball on it, you can't cut your canvas because that little ball covered tip is the one that's touching your canvas and it has that little ball over it, so you can't cut your canvas. I'm always amazed when people tell me stuff like that because I'm like, duh, why didn't I ever think of that? It's so obvious once someone tells you, and then you're like, I must be such an idiot that I didn't see this. That's why I always say I'm too literal. My sister tells me I'm book smart instead of street smart. It's the difference for you D&D players out there between intelligence and wisdom. All right, and then question number 10, how do you sort drills when you kit up? Do you sort them by color, by symbol, by DMC, by serial number, by some system of your own making? I sort mine most often, probably 99% of the time, by DMC. I've gotten away from that a little bit here in the last probably 6 months to a year. I tried doing it some other ways, but I just end up going back to DMC code because it just makes the most sense to my brain. Obviously, if you're going to be kitting down by DMC, It just seems easier to me to have it in that order to begin with. I mean, does it take that long to rearrange them? No. But I think, once again, when I started doing this hobby, I was kind of learning on my own. I didn't really go to the internet to watch videos or anything. I felt like how to do it was kind of self-explanatory. How to do it well is a whole different thing, or to make it easier on yourself is a whole different thing, because everybody works differently. So some things that I might consider a must have, you might be like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why would I do it that way? So I kit up mine most often by DMC. Not saying the other ways aren't valid, just that that happens to be the way that I do it the most often. So is that enough questions to get everybody thinking? Hopefully you left me some comments down below, because really this is just a way for me to be nosy. I want to know the answer to all these questions, what you guys do, because I learned so much from you guys. So I figured, well, if I did something like this, then I would get answers to my questions as well. And I have been working on this, my heaven and earth design. So if you want to know how it's going and the things that I've had to do to get where I am, make sure that you check out tomorrow's video, which will be my weekly whip and chat where I discuss all of that. And before I go, bonus question. Have you ever trashed a diamond painting? I had someone ask me that recently, and I think that, well, I don't know how other people felt. I've kind of felt like I'd spent the money on it, so I needed to do it. That's that whole sunk cost fallacy thing. But someone asked me if I'd ever had to trash a diamond painting, and I admit that I have. I've trashed more than one. I had one diamond painting from a place that is no longer in business, that the background was all black, and the black was so trashy just from pouring it into the tray that I knew immediately I would need to buy new drills, because there was no way I was going to have enough with the amount of trash in there, nor was I going to have the patience to sort through all the drills. And this actually happened probably about 6 months before we moved to Canada. I just said, you know what, I'm trashing this. I could have kept it and passed it on to someone else, but the black drills were horrible, and I knew from doing a different kit from that same company that the other drills weren't going to be any better, so it just went in the trash. I had a second kit from another company that has since gone out of business that I really, really liked the image, but again, the drills were so bad. I got through maybe 2 rows, or maybe not even that far, maybe like 4 cover paper sections, and then had to give it up because the drills were just making me nuts. I mean, I literally had gone and pulled spare drills for a bunch of the colors, but I didn't have enough of everything, and I wasn't going to be able to finish it anyway, and I just went, no, it's not worth this headache. There you go. There are my 10 diamond painting questions for Diamond Painting Question Tag. Again, any of you who have your own YouTube channels, feel free to take the questions and answer them on your channel. If you do, tag me and I'll take a look, because again, I'd love you to leave me comments, but if you're going to do your own video on it, I'm nosy. I'd love to know what your answers to these questions are. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of this probably weird video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.